In a world where every Rob, Steve, and Lane has a podcast, two good brothers will try to rise above the rest. Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder invite you to pour a cold beverage, pull up a seat, and enjoy time with friends. Welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that's thrown away its normal, usual, well-scripted, and very tight format for whatever fresh improv hell this is. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Howie Blues in the flesh. I'm doing fan-freaking-tastic. Look who I drug out of the dirt. Pulled him off the side of the road. Rudeboy Kyle, welcome to the show.
I am here.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
It's great to be here, and I'm looking forward to the show.
Glad one of us is. Howie Blues, how are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm here. Let's just put it that. And I've been awake since 3:30 this morning, and I've done a lot of traveling today, and I dealt with a cranky toddler, so I'm here, and we'll just call that a victory.
Glad. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that Rude Boy's here, and I'm glad that he's excited to be on this
Small
show.
miracles.
So we're ready to go. So the big question that I have for you is not are you ready? Because we're ready. The question is, what's on tap? Howie Blues.
Oh, you're throwing it to me. Okay.
It's a nice softball toss. You saw that Rude Boy had a pregame drink. It's kind of like his sacrificial pregame that he just happened to pick up today. It's what is it? Go ahead.
This is the Topo Chico hard seltzer, spiked sparkling water, tangy lemon lime version. 2 grams of sugar, 100 calories, and 4.7%
better
alcohol.
Better show that to the folks at home or on the road in case they want some static water flavored with a hint of lemon.
Sorry. Lemon lime. Sorry.
Lemon. There's a lemon and a lime.
You got more than just one flavor in there, but it is a little more well-rounded, not as carbonated as the typical seltzer, but it's good in the can out of the fridge or over ice.
Ice.
Yeah.
So, Howie Blues.
Well,
before you were rudely interrupted.
By you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
So, and here's the thing: we all have the same drink, because I happened to pick up a couple of things and thought it would be fun to share. So, our first drink this evening is a classic Moscow Mule by Mule 2.0 out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. 8% alcohol by volume.
I just showed that to Rude Boy. I was like 8%, and he went, "Oh!" So it's gonna be a toasty drink.
Yep, and it is certified gluten-free. If that matters to anybody. But it's the authentic flavor of the 1941 Moscow Mule. So
it contains alcohol, so that's a stretch.
That is what matters.
The fact that they had to put it on the can, like, did somebody pick these up and like, where's the alcohol? Howie Blues, did you notice right above the recycling icon and the certified gluten-free icon on the side and the barcode that it is a product with aluminium of the Ball Corporation, a proud sponsor of your Colorado Avalanche?
I did, but that's kind of your shtick, so I wasn't going to steal it.
Thank you. Got to have small victories in this life.
I like it says established now.
Yeah.
Unless
that's
NOW is Roman numerals for something I'm not aware of. But
Yeah. What's the Roman numeral for N?
Yeah.
established NOW. Oh, no.
Mhm.
No.
The authentic flavor of 1941, but we just started now.
Okay. That sounds like a good note to
On
start
that
tasting
note.
it.
I was going to say, these were cheap, so
Uh-oh. How cheap were they? Howie Blues over there bringing us the beverages. So this round on tap brought to you by Howie Blues. Thank you very much for sharing
Cheers.
these. Cheers. And of course, as we did, the old cheers to you.
Yep.
And if you want to sponsor a round or a What's on Tap, just visit us at beerbluesbs.com. Right there on the homepage, you can buy us a beer or a round. Depends on how many beverages you'd like to sponsor on the show. And you get your name right here on the bottom of the screen if you're watching the video version, and we'll throw out your name too for everybody listening in the audio version. So what do you think? You smelled it there? What kind of notes do you smell?
I definitely get the ginger
Mm-hmm.
on the first sniff. But I'm a big fan of ginger, whether it be in food or drinks, and I like the first whiff of it. Even though people don't typically smell things out of cans, it makes me want to taste it. So here we go. It's crisp.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Taste the hints of lime in there, and then of course the ginger notes, and it is pretty stiff with the 8% alcohol per volume. Oh,
Yeah.
What is this, a 12? No, 355 milliliter.
I'd say for a pre-made cocktail out of a can, I'd say that's right up there with one of the best ones I've had.
It's a solid 4 at least, 4 to 5.
yeah, it's enjoyable. So
I give it a 4.3.
Oh. High praise from the Rude Boy.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of ginger, so the more crisp and snap a mule has, the better.
What do you think there, Howie Blues?
oh yeah, no, I'm enjoying it, which makes me glad that I have one more of these here in my beer fridge. So you know,
Yeah, what he didn't tell you, and I did not tell you either, Rude Boy, is that Howie Blues so generously gave each of us one flavor to try. So we have another one that'll be coming up later. What's on tap ×2.
Excellent.
But he has the other two because they both came in 4-packs.
Mm-hmm.
And I quote from the other day, he said, yeah, they both came in 4-packs, so if these suck, I spread them out so I didn't have to drink all of them.
That's a pro move.
it is a pro move.
You guys can have that one for free.
yeah, that's okay, and we'll see. You never know. My dad might get adventurous and drink it out of my fridge, and then we'll get a real good review.
His reviews are
Tell
always
us what you really think.
Yeah, his reviews are always interesting because we're like, oh, he's gonna hate this one. It's like, it's all right. That's not too bad. I could drink another one of those. You're like, what is wrong with you? You like drinking lake water? Was that not one of the beers, lake water or like hidden lake beer or something? It was like a 30-pack.
Lost
He was
Lake.
okay drinking those. Lost Lake. See, it's water lake. It came out of the lake. It had the strength and consistency of lake water. Yeah, Lost Lake. I might remember that at some point in the next, 50 years. But then again, it's more humorous, I think, to just, that one beer that came out of the lake. And then Howie Blues, Lost Lake. Yep, that one.
Forgotten Lake.
Yeah. Should have been forgotten. Left on the truck instead of delivered. But we digress.
Mm-hmm.
Howie Blues over there painting away again. He's getting the paint ready to paint, I guess. Looks like it.
Yep.
What are you making tonight?
Right now I got a bunch of boxes and barrels. I went with just kind of easy stuff tonight. I had thought about Kidder painting something a little bit bigger because the things I have been painting have been little tiny things and they don't show up real well on the camera. But when I looked at the thing I wanted to paint, the amount of prep work I'd have to do, it's like, I'm not going to get that done in time for the show. So I decided to just settle for some boxes, barrels, things that, simple details and such. So,
do we get to hear a stiff round of you singing "Roll Out the Barrel" by the end of the show?
Probably not.
No,
Probably
man.
We were looking forward to it.
Man, that's a good song.
We back in the old UND days, as both of you know, but I don't know if the audience knows, is that I was in the UND Pride of the North marching band for the first year of our college tour of duty. So the final song that the band would always play before packing it up and hitting the road from the Ralph was "Roll Out the Barrel." And we always made it as stupidly ridiculous as we could the longer the song went on. So by halfway through the song, as they counted us down to start, we would be about 2 or 3 times that speed by midway through the song. So like, roll out the barrel, roll out the barrel, just a train wreck. And then everybody was playing the loudest they could because it was the last song that we would play of the night. So it didn't really matter. So you blow out your lungs or start smashing the drums. I think I broke a drum head on one of those at one point, but just banging away, rolling out the barrel.
Yeah. Well, going to several of the Iowa State football games up in Ames, we have a good friend that is played in the band for the football team for 4 years and will play for his 5th season coming up before he graduates. Apparently he says that that's one of their not so favorite songs to play, but I always enjoy hearing it and they always put on a good show. But it's something that there's no bad song out of the Iowa State University varsity football marching band that I've ever heard. So they put on an excellent show, and I'm sporting their colors tonight. So kudos to them for liking their favorite songs and putting on a good show, even though they don't like playing certain songs that the crowd might enjoy. So
even though you're in the maroon and gold, we'll let you on the show.
Cardinal and gold.
Cardinal,
yes.
Cardinal, not the gopher.
Not quite maroon.
Just depends on the lighting, I guess. It's also good that you don't show up at the events and then you hear and you're like, what are they trying to play?
Yeah.
And please stop.
Yeah.
Howie Blues remembers that from the old band days, being a trumpeter.
Mm-hmm.
You heard some of those good. What? Why are you raising an eyebrow at that?
I'm just waiting to see where you go with this.
Oh, well, I'm just saying that, over your years of playing a trumpet, you heard probably more than your fair share of people who can't play, and they give it the.
I probably have, but I probably really haven't cared.
I blocked them out. That's a true professional right there. That is a professional.
The show must go on.
Goes on. Yep. I will say that we happened to be at another school in North Dakota, and the quote-unquote jazz band came out to entertain. It wasn't the music that was entertaining.
The other school's jazz band?
It was it was that district school jazz band.
Yeah.
But they're trying. I'll give them that. They're trying.
Yeah.
I believe
there's
you were on the group conversation of some audio listening. I had to share the audio pleasure that I was experiencing with Rude Boy and Brother Nico, because there was a little bit of going on.
Yeah,
So.
well, it's interesting you mentioned that, because I happened to stumble upon YouTube videos of other countries playing, like if they're having a head of state from a different country show up, and they're at the airport and they're watching dignitary come off the plane, and they're playing that country's national anthem. And there happened to be some instance where the leader of Russia showed up to Egypt, and the Egypt Army Orchestra put on their best effort to play the Russian national anthem. And it some places around the world, just certain melodies, certain sounds, certain notes just don't resonate. And even though they sound like they're putting on an effort, it just sounds horrendous compared to that nation's.
Sure.
Like you hear
people familiar playing it, right?
Someone from Russia playing, or the Russian army playing the Russian national anthem for whatever
the
occasion.
president.
So it's something that it's interesting to see that. Yeah, it's a completely different country, a different culture, but you don't know really if they're doing it on purpose or if they're just sounding terrible just to sound terrible, or it's entertaining. So if you a quick Google search of the Egypt Army Orchestra, and you can kind of see some videos that you hear the national anthem of Russia or the United States or other countries, and you see the leader's reaction to that, and it's just kind of like a little furrowed eyebrows, like, oh, thank you for having me type of reaction.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I probably wouldn't if showed up in one of those countries and you hear like,
a little off key, a little off beat.
Let's I can get back on the plane, we could try this again. Re-rack it. Try it again.
Take two.
But everybody at the cameras, just hit stop. We're gonna roll this one again.
Delete that recording.
Just try it. You know, it's funny that you bring up the other statesmen, countries welcoming other people, because it's. I was made aware of this earlier this week, and if I remember the countries correctly, it's India and Pakistan. And every day they have a border crossing gate opening ceremony, because they close the gates at whatever time in the night, and then in the morning they open it up, and it's this big to do, and there's videos on the internet of it, and they look ridiculous doing this ceremony, because the army officers doing this ceremony have this like plume, and it's both countries, and they do this like fast chicken walk, and then they're doing this. It's super bizarre, but again, you watch this whole ceremony that's 10 minutes long, 15 minutes long, and both countries are doing it. They walk and they open, and it's this big to-do every day, and they open the gates and everybody cheers, and hundreds of people watch this every day. And it's just bizarre to watch, because we're not used to that sort of pageantry around here, especially for something of like opening a gate, a border crossing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've traveled a couple of states to be here, and the only thing you agreed with was high gas prices. So.
Yeah. How high are the gas prices? Let's take that picture of Snoop Dogg. That's they're getting ridiculous. Damn ridiculous. But We made it down here, thankfully.
Yeah.
Put the old petrol into the Triple B cruiser. Made it down here. Set the cruise under 90 and keep her between the ditches. You know what I mean? So, thanks for hosting the Triple B.
Yeah. I'm glad we can make this happen.
Howie Blues didn't want to ride in the trunk. I don't know why.
Cheers to the drinks there, Howie.
He just shakes his head. It's like, why would you want me to ride in the trunk? Okay, you could ride in this regular seats inside, but I figured we might have to kidnap you.
You get
bring
no
you down
seat
here.
heat in the back.
I just like how you say that, like it was like somehow offered for me to be along on this trip, and like I said, no. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm going to Iowa.
You're always welcome
next week.
anytime,
Okay.
whether or not Mark is here. So
You are welcome, and I'll bring your dead ass down here.
I know, it's just always funny because like the last time that you were down there, Kidder was always like, oh yeah, and Howie Blues didn't come. It's like Howie Blues wasn't invited.
There's a standing invitation for you to come on a
you're
road
welcome
trip.
anytime.
And hear that?
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
the Casa de Kyle, you are always welcome.
I
There
get
we
that
go.
part. What I'm saying though is you can't go like a week before and go, yeah, we're going to Iowa. Yeah, you know, I got kids,
More
man.
one
It
of
takes a
those
little bit more
invitations.
planning for me to get out of the house.
Oh yeah, by the way, tomorrow
we
we're
wish you were
leaving.
here.
The accidental quotation marks, like I don't think you mean what you're saying. Like, no, it's fine.
Just throw random quotations. Congratulations on your baby.
Congratulations on your baby. Like,
Put them anywhere in that sentence, and it's gonna be
like, what are you saying?
something taken and very out of context.
do you
Congratulations.
do you really mean what you're saying?
for your baby?
Baby, yeah. Well, had I known that, I would have told you at least a week and a half ago. Then it would have made it all better. Is a year enough notice? Howie Blues.
Probably
What do you say?
not.
Probably not. So Rudeboy says next year, this date, they're going to be in the North Dakota lands. So
Either that or traveling towards. I'm doing my best.
So they're gonna does what he can does, and they're gonna do what they can do to get up to our California way.
Iowa English at its best.
Sorry, I didn't go to the Iowa public school system.
This guy doesn't. Neither did I. I'm captive. I'm not native.
like a cactus that's grown in the fertile lands of the plains of North Dakota.
An invasive species.
I wasn't going to go that far and say that you're like
It's not like I'm here out of malice. But
yeah. He's one of those mussels or whatever they are that stick to the bottom of your boat when you go to lake to lake.
Zebra mussels.
Yes, yeah, one of those.
check your boat for your muscles.
Check your boat and check it off.
I mean, if you're gonna go with an invasive species, at least go with like the flying Asian carp, you know, because there's nothing better than those videos of people driving their boats down those rivers and like the fish flying up and hitting people. Those are always a good
Or
time.
the Asian beetle that's destroyed all our ash trees. But
Ash to ash, dust to dust,
fade
fade
to
to
black.
black. Wait, which button was that?
The memory remains.
The Howard remains.
Yes.
I just now like that probably some poor person's going to actually think that that Metallica song is about the plight of the ash tree.
It could be.
The funny thing
Maybe
about it is-
Metallica was
Yeah.
decades ahead of their time. They predicted the ash borer beetle.
Mm-hmm. That and the dying of the mountain ash tree at Kidder's residence. They were only 25 years early with the
Give it time.
replacement.
some environmentalist group will eventually catch on to that, and they'll
Mhm.
use that song in an ad.
And we're gonna get quoted in some court case as being quoting facts
The catalyst to the movement.
about Metallica and
Back in 1991, James
And-
Hetfield and Metallica, Lars Ulrich wrote some lyrics.
and these kind gentlemen on the podcast that we found in 2022.
2022, this astounding piece of literature we found, the Beer Blues and the B, comma, period, S, period, comma, podcast.
Self-claimed arborists.
I don't know why the extra punctuation was needed in there, but it was there. I must have you both know, because I don't even know if Howard knows, with the tree planting, it's been over a week already. The trees have been in the ground, so they're hopefully doing their best thing. But they are in the lilac tree family. So, no, I'm not going to run it over the damn lilac bush. But
Too high to mow.
it's a lilac. I could get it low enough to mow over, trust me. If I wanted to get that son of a bitch trimmed up with a good old mowing haircut, we could make that happen. But
The old high and tight cut.
since I had to pay for them, I'm not going to do it. And in my defense, with the lilac bush story that lives on and lives on, the bush that I found with the bottom of the mower is twice the size of the one that I didn't. So I'm just throwing that out there. Trim your bushes and trim them often.
They will regrow sometimes.
80% of the time, it works every time. 70%, I guess.
Yeah.
70%.
You're just giving more credence to our ash borer theory.
Yeah.
Because you say that you can mow down a lilac bush and it regrows.
Grows
Oh,
bigger.
yeah. I think so. I think that these guys know what they're talking
Bigger,
about.
better. This guy's got the green thumb and the purple thumb. and whatever, Howard, what color are you painting with? What do you got over there?
I just poured in some ginger cookie, actually.
Ooh.
So
Paint color,
got a
I
ginger
have.
thumb.
Yeah, I have like a bunch of these. Reaper Miniatures, every year at Christmas, they give away promo colors. And so they've done like ginger cookie for the last few years. So I got like a ton of these. I also have like a ton of like breast cancer awareness pink because they do that in October. So
I bet that tastes good on Christmas cookies.
I wouldn't
Frosting awareness.
recommend it. You shouldn't lick your paint. Even though it's non-toxic, I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, just because it says it on the label doesn't mean translates to real life.
Yeah. So
Gross.
bless you.
That was really gross. Thank you. This being in the outdoors and in the elements. I mean, look at these dangling lights that grow naturally on this tree.
Yeah.
Look at this.
If we're talking about trees,
But tree fitting right there.
I'd say it's about $40-50 worth of LEDs right there.
I'm always happy about an LED investment. Let me tell you.
Low voltage at its finest.
Mm-hmm. Low voltage, high output, high octane. Speaking of that, it's not terrestrial radio. It's satellite radio. This guy got to hear some octane today for the first time in forever.
Many months.
He realized
So-
why he stopped listening in the first place.
Well, I've known the reason for years, but I mean, bands are going to produce music that they think is going to capture the audience at the time, and current rock music is I prefer something that's 5 to 15, 20 years old versus the newest stuff. So I don't know.
The interesting thing about it, as we talked about, it was and then you switch over to another track, and
Yeah, it's not like every genre or every time period is going to produce nothing but classics, but it's something that if you have to switch off the station more than you stay on the station, then you're just not going to listen to it anymore. And if Octane's going to play Mickey Mouse Zoomer Rock, then all the more to him, and I just won't listen. So it's the way she goes.
what was the funny thing earlier is how we were listening to the Spotify, and I don't know what you're laughing at specifically, but
it was just the timing of me complaining about Turbo playing almost kind of like an hourly sequence of Korn, Rob Zombie, whatever else that kind of fits into that niche Halloween rock, I like to call it. So it's like something I don't care for it, and then I'll switch to Octane, which is just one channel higher in my presets in my car, and they're playing something that I have never heard before and don't really care to listen to again. So it's kind of like I'll just switch the classic terrestrial FM radio. And
it's a sin on this show.
Either that or just turn off the radio and enjoy the silence of the sounds of the road.
The radio. What I was laughing at was the "Wait a minute, my girl," my Volbeat coming on. Yeah. And then you have that song.
I remember the day that song came out, and I sent that to you and Nico.
The piano player on that, just going to town.
Piano and the sax.
Yep, you get the sultry sax in there. And that playing on Octane. And then the next song, and then after the song is done, then you have, "Hey, Jose, Metal Bastard Maggot here. I'm going to tell you about this 20 things right here for the next 5 minutes. I could be playing a song here, but I'm just going to keep talking because this is the best thing that I got going for me is talking to you, brother. My thing is just crazy thing. This is absolutely crazy. I smoke some marijuana, I'm going to drink some tequila, because we're talking about this and that and that thing, and then you know what? Rudeboy, I was down there and I was drinking some tequila with the dudes, these cool bros from this band. I was drinking blah.
Did you get a? Yeah, well, yeah. It's something that sometimes the stories take too long to develop and have no substance behind them. So it's, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, maybe we can start throwing together a playlist of tunes to go along with the show, just to after the fact, and maybe something that kind of encapsulates, whether it be 10, 15 minutes worth of songs or a half hour or an hour, that tells the story of what our time on the show felt like, or what you wanted to feature. I don't know. It's an idea.
I see that going like one of two ways.
I mean, everybody's a collaborator, and we're all part of the show. And if you want to throw a song in or two, it can get vetoed. Maybe you can get one veto, and you can say you throw in 3-4 songs, and I don't know, make it interesting.
I was just thinking of, going back in time to my old radio days.
Sure.
When, again, rated number 1 per capita in the country for my time slot for 2.5 years, which means that not only could I have a good show, but I was better than everybody else in the country for active rock in the 3 to 7 afternoon time slot.
You knew your audience, and
I just like good music.
It was good music.
Just like good music.
Yeah. Well, people listened and tuned in, and I was one of those people. So
it's true, and that was great because you didn't even count in the metric of listening because it was just the online listenership. You didn't get the little they call them diaries, where you get the diary, and then you got to put from 3 to 4 o'clock p.m. I listened to this radio station, and then Mark Kidder was on there. He was pretty good. Things like that. I miss those days.
Decidedly better than average.
We're really shooting for just above average. So I mean, scraping the bottom of the barrel here for talent. And this guy, well, he's got something better than zero. Don't know what it is, but it's something.
Yeah.
It's something. So that's the funny thing. Every time I tune in, whether it's turbo or octane or lithium or even BPM or 90s on 9, right? You hear the random people. And I go, what would I do in this instance? Because I understand the playlist works the same sort of way that it worked when I worked in radio, where it's still programmed out. You still have to play the same garbage every hour and a half. But how could I do it differently? Well, not play it every hour and a half so that you hear the same garbage, and not play the Mickey Mouse music. But also in between songs, give me something.
Yeah.
Hey, I hung out with this band over the weekend, and man, they didn't tell me anything about anything, but I hung out with them, and so that was cool.
Or you'd reach out and see how the beat truckers were doing during their harvest.
Beating off.
So you get them to call in.
We're a few months away from beat off 2022, but you know what? Started early and started often, I guess. But when it comes down to it, and I don't think you have seen it yet, but the episode that I had with Clinton Kinnanen from Another Lost Year, that is the quintessential element of radio. Sitting down, talking with somebody, having a good time, making that human connection. But then we're also, learning about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because, your favorite band, insert whichever band, right? And I happen to talk to them, like Sully Erna. I interviewed Sully from Godsmack. Sully, you're coming to town. Have you been to Bismarck before? Oh, man, this is the first time I've made it out that way, and we're really excited to play in Bismarck. All right. A couple things that we like around here, maybe the hunting, fishing, outdoors aspect, but we have some good restaurants. What kind of food do you like to eat when you're on the road?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never been asked that before. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, tie yourself into them. They're people.
Oh yeah, especially if you're sharing the love of music, you at least have some memory of enjoying almost anything in life, and music's almost guaranteed to be associated with it. So whether it's the best times or the worst times, you not only have music to help you remember those instances, but help you get through them, and it's something that brings a lot of people together.
Good times, bad times. We had our share. But when it ultimately, like, we're all people trying to survive on this smoldering rock shooting through space. Unless you believe that we're living in a simulation. Who's that? But no reaction from Howard. He's programmed. You see that?
He's in the pro zone right now.
You see that? He's programmed to respond that way. There we go.
Yeah.
Got you good, sucker.
I wouldn't say that. That's just...
I know, but It's a Howard reaction. It's vintage Howard. I love it.
If he only knew that we were
Vintage-
recording the entire screen.
Oh,
The
No, we're
vintage Howard no sell. Yep.
yeah. It's like Sting getting hit with a chair. He doesn't sell it. He just turns around and looks at you funny.
Well,
Yep. Well, I'm out.
it's about time
You're
for the
out.
next drink, you poo.
Howard, are you out?
I could catch up.
What's your favorite ketchup, Howard? You have a favorite brand, or do you not care?
You know,
Yeah, what's your favorite brand of the red?
I don't really care. You know,
There you go. Welcome to the club.
it's just ketchup. I mean, I will say,
ever
sriracha ketchup, pretty good.
You ever
Pretty
had like your own custom sauces where you add some hot sauce to it, or I've seen Kraft, they've made their whatever chup, like mayo chup, or
The mayo.
it's
the blends.
the custom blends that you tend to overpay for, but
That's how they got the 57 different flavors, because they started mixing random shit in with the ketchup.
the Heinz 57.
Yeah, Heinz 51, Heinz 52. Special delivery. What's on tap too? Also sponsored by Howard. And
I was
before
going
we
to say
get to that,
before you
Howard's
jump to
going to
that.
talk about his sauce.
Well, I wasn't going to talk about a sauce. I was going to talk about a story I saw here the other day. Apparently, there's a TikToker who goes out and he makes these very elaborate fake products and then sneaks them into stores in hopes that people will actually purchase them thinking they're real products. And the one that he did was he made a kind of one of those ketchup mayo things, but he did it with Monster. Yeah, no, it wasn't that.
I did cut to it. Damn it.
But
Shouldn't have laughed. Sorry.
but yeah, so he made kind of a mayo ketchup with a Monster Energy drink and put that on the shelf for some poor soul who's unfortunately probably bought it thinking that it was a great idea.
See, the interesting thing is that Rudeboy got up to go look for it at the store, because we all know that all Kyles are obsessed with Monster Energy drink and punching holes in sheetrock. He's not here to defend himself, so he's gone.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see in a store.
Yeah, I mean, he showed some of his other products and such. The Monster one was the one that I just kind of remembered. I was just like, oh. But yeah, making a fake product like that, like down to the label, being as close and accurate as possible, and a barcode on it, and then just sneaking it into the stores and putting it there, hoping some poor soul actually purchases it.
It'd be interesting to see in the stores somebody who actually grabbed it to I'll try this, whatever, gets to the checkout and scans it. What happened? Do you end up getting to the point of the price check on aisle 3 for a Monster Energy ketchup, 12 ounce, or does it actually scan as another ketchup product?
Yeah,
similar?
I think he was actually taking barcodes from real products. So if you scanned it, then it actually would scan up as this mayo.
What a dick. You pay $5 for some crappy ketchup. I mean, it's your own fault.
Yeah, I will say it did show in the video he tested the Monster ketchup stuff and he gagged pretty hard on it. So it at least he's willing to take the bullet himself.
Right. Was it just straight ketchup with some Monster drink poured into it and mixed together, or was there a little bit more to it?
Yeah, and I actually think it was mayo. So I think it was like mayonnaise and Monster and something else, but it had like a wasabi green color to it. Future Howard will try and find it and put a a photo of it up during this, but yeah. So it's kind of a wasabi green. So,
well, thanks to Future Howard for attempting to find it or finding it. Rudeboy has not yet found the monster, and I think as he approaches, are you disappointed you couldn't find the monster male?
Monster mayo. If I'm gonna sit down and want mayo with anything, I think monster might be the least flavor combo I'd want with it.
I mean, earlier today at Dunkin', they had mayo packets available. You could put them into your
Those are for the
Dunkin'.
sandwiches that they make.
You just squeeze a packet right into your iced
coffee. About doing a little mayo float on top of your
just sits
frappe.
there on the top. Yeah, smell that aluminium.
Oh, this one's established now too.
Right now,
whenever you crack the can,
I guess we're supposed to kind of roll them a little bit.
Really?
Just to make sure we roll out the aluminium.
Roll out the fashioned.
It's an old new fashion.
The fashion mule.
I caught up.
Would you like me to use my allocated table space to roll yours adequately for you? I can help you out. Oh, you got dueling armchairs over
Sure.
here.
Here you go, kidder. Here you go.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thanks. Oh, right. Do we need a trophy for that?
No.
No.
Sorry.
Future Howard absolutely loves when I give out trophies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you knew that, because
I remember.
I've given you a trophy on the show before.
Well, also my dog Sterling's got
Correct.
one too.
Sterling has a trophy around here somewhere. Sterling's inside.
Probably in his display case inside. So.
he's got it polished up. It's in its own little case inside.
Cherished.
He was so excited when we came walking in the door. Thank you for the award.
He finally got it in person.
He was so happy to get his little tin cup. All right, what's on tap ×2? Again, beerbluesbs.com, the website. Click on buy us a beer, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a beer. It could be a zapped bug. It could be one of these tasty beverages. It could be, hard liquor. It could be that douchey motorcycle 3 miles away that we can hear clear as day. Still going strong. Beerbluesbs.com. Buy us a beer. And then in the comment section, because we want to know your name, and then you can leave a message as well. If you want to give us a message, we'll read it on the show here. So go ahead and listen to them gnat sounds right there. This is, again, courtesy Howie Blues. Thank you, Jaco, for this second round, continuing basically the first round into another premeditated can of alcoholic bliss. This is a 10 proof, according to the can. Only 5% alcohol per volume for this one. The last one, as we made mention, was 8%, which, Howie, as you were showing off the can and stuff, I looked at it. And I did one of these to Rudeboy. I'm like, whoa, gonna be a stiff drink. Mm-hmm. Now, let's see. The authentic flavor of the 1941 Moscow Mule, even though this is the old-fashioned mule. Again, taking a look at the entire front of the can there in full, crisp, high definition. This is bourbon whiskey and orange bitters with natural ginger flavor of the mule. It's again pre-mixed. Rude Boy is enjoying it. The other tasting notes on here really don't have anything aside from contains alcohol, and that it is aluminum, courtesy of the Ball Corporation, a proud sponsor of your Colorado Avalanche. There it is. I know it was a little bit washed out in the look. Bottled by Mule 2.0. But their website's Mule 20. So they missed a few. All right. Howie Blues?
2.0.com. Point com.
2.com.com. 0.0. It'll get you to some website, or at least get malware on your computer.
Don't click on that risky link.
It's an interesting smell that it has. I say interesting because it does not smell like an old fashioned.
Well, it's
kind of orange.
It's something that when you hear old fashioned, it's usually dominated by.
I'm sorry.
He's got to catch his breath. He's got the vapors. Old fashioned.
I got the vapes.
Pardon me.
Excuse me.
Well, yeah, I was surprised when it said old fashioned mule says bourbon whiskey, orange bitters, and natural ginger flavor, and ginger is
not in an old fashioned.
A very strong flavor. So as a ginger fan, I do like it. And when they say old-fashioned mule, I think this is just a different take on a Moscow mule itself, with ingredients that are used in an old-fashioned. So that's maybe the surprise that I have is the ginger still is a prominent taste, but you also have a not so much lemon taste, but a little more. Well, what was the previous can said? It was just the Moscow Mule.
Yep. So you got your lime and your ginger beer, and
so more lime. Yeah. This one has a little more hints of the bourbon, the orange, bitters, but the ginger still.
And a shaky camera.
The ginger still is a main feature of the drink, which I do like. But I think people that pick it up thinking if they're traditional old-fashioned cocktail fans, and they're like, yeah, I got to get this. They'll be very surprised to think that it's a very different taste than they might expect.
You probably have the same reaction that I did when you taste it. You get the not an old fashioned. It is a mule centric beverage.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a mule first, with the extra hints of the bourbon and the orange. And that's, I think, what the smell I was getting off of it was the orange.
Well, especially with it being a carbonated drink, you might not get the true orange or bourbon or bitter shining through, whereas carbonation, you're used to effervescence and crisp taste, and that's where the ginger really takes hold. So I do like it. I definitely have another one.
To me, this one tastes almost too similar to the other one. So the difference for me between the two isn't enough. I don't know what an old-fashioned mule.
Yeah, being two different products and having two different labels, even though the cans are fairly similar in stature, minus the Moscow Mule and old-fashioned mule. I'd say that this one is. I give it a 4, just because I like ginger myself. But when you first taste it, it's kind of a juxtaposition in a can, because you're like you want those other flavors to come through a little bit more than the ginger.
Yeah.
When you say old fashioned, you think slightly richer flavors and notes that you're looking for in terms of the whiskey or orange bitters. But you can tell that they're in there.
They're just overpowered by the ginger and the lime. So for me, it's not.
There's not so much lime in there.
Yeah.
I can tell that the citrus has changed from a traditional mule. But when you say old fashioned mule, it's like you want a little more richness to it, and this one is still definitely dominated by the ginger taste. So they're both good, but this one's a little more of a surprise than I thought it'd be.
For me, it's more of a question of, is it trying to be like an old fashioned mule? Is it an old school mule, like an original recipe mule? Or is it trying to be a mule crossed with an old fashioned? Yes. And those are two completely different things, right? Yeah. So for me, I almost think that it's the cross of the two. It's the combination. And obviously it's a mule company. You know, it says mule right on there, so you know, picking it up, it should be more like a mule taste versus a whiskey, orange, bitters, and simple syrup or sugar cocktail.
Yeah.
So
this one was more of a surprise than the other one was.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it that. What do you think, Howie?
It's a decent meal. Have you tried it yet?
I think you guys have summed this up very well. I did try it. I like it, actually.
Yeah.
It's especially after having drank the classic Moscow Mule first. It's a nice change. It's enjoyable. I'm going to enjoy it. So, of course, I'm not as much of a stickler on the whole old fashioned as my co-host is. You know. But
what? You got something to say? Huh?
I'm not. Yes, if you want to make an old fashioned, then
get ourselves an
deal
old
with
fashioned.
it. And there's some people that are traditionalists, and they go by a certain recipe. They like a certain taste, and that's just the way it is. But yeah, like you said, it's it's a good change of pace to the traditional lime aspect, where the old fashioned is slightly different flavor, but it still is true to its mule origins.
And I think that's what I enjoy about this the most, is that it is, basic mule, but it tastes different like that.
Yeah.
And when I'll order a Moscow Mule of some kind, I typically will never order just a straight Moscow Mule in its original form. Mm-hmm. I'll get a Huckleberry Mule or a Raspberry Mule or a Tropical Mule. So it's got the pineapple in it or something like that, where it's a modification of the original versus, and again, just because you know how much I love a good old fashioned. Mm-hmm. When I order an old fashioned, I expect an old fashioned with this, and this. Now, the bourbon or whiskey that can be put into it is really the biggest modification. The rest of it, I expect to be pretty much exactly the same.
Sure.
So if I get Bullet Bourbon or Bullet Rye, two different flavor profiles there, or go out to the Canadian Club 12 year, that's a different profile of the flavor.
Yeah.
So you really get the different tasting old fashions, and that's what I enjoy. But they have to be made correctly with no freaking cherry in there.
It kind of reminds me, if you were to take just a can of Coke and you crack it open, and it has that distinctive taste. And then you took maybe just the eyedropper's worth of cherry syrup instead of going to a cherry Coke. which has a distinct cherry flavor to it. You just put 2 or 3 drops of the cherry syrup into the Coke. I think this is that slight change without having to call this a cherry Coke. And then it's kind of like, okay, this is a different citrus family. It's got a little whiskey note in there, but
in the family.
Yeah. So it's not a huge change, but it's definitely in the mule family. The ginger definitely is the main flavor note, but you can tell that it is different, and it's good.
I have to note that when we were talking about the family, Sterling popped up over there, and his ears are still perked up. He's over behind the camera, and he's like, "Hey, you're talking about the family, huh? Oh yeah, the family, yeah." But lawn looks good, by the way, Rude Boy.
Thank you.
Good job on the lawn.
Yeah, it's
Pushing the old school blade cutter yourself.
Yeah, I try to get to at least every other, if not every second or third cut, to use the reel mower. But sometimes the weather or my schedule doesn't cooperate, and but yeah, at the beginning of last year, just over a year ago, I used the dethatcher, and I think it's made a big difference in the overall quality of the lawn. It's definitely thicker overall. It's helped crowd out a majority of the weeds, at least in the lawn. On the borders, along the driveways or sidewalks, you get the occasional dandelion or two, but I just attribute that to the neighbors and whatever. So it's not everybody can give their time or attention. I'm glad it's been decent. We haven't had long dry spells or long heat episodes so far. But yeah, it's a labor of love, and you do what you can, and until it. It was something that we've discussed on previous episodes, that we've had plenty of practice with our
the simulator,
lawnmower simulator. So
because we're all in the simulation,
it's paid dividends. I'd say it has.
What? Shaking? Are you shaking your head at the lawn mowing simulator, or living in a simulation?
It's an investment.
He doesn't even want to comment on it. He's just nothing. Give him the line. Give him the line. He's waiting for it. Give him the line.
I'm working on painting the bands on this barrel, and so now, instead of being my sloppy self that I've been so far, it's kind of like I have to focus a little bit here. So,
Kyle's got something to ask you.
No,
he's got something to ask you.
I just enjoyed your reaction. I had no intention of tying in the lawnmower simulator, which I know you're very fond of. So
we're gonna have to gift it to him for Christmas or his birthday or both.
Don't waste your money.
We'll give him the game for his birthday, and then surprise, you get the DLC for Christmas. You can mow around Stonehenge.
Don't waste your funds. Don't waste your funds.
I don't know. I
don't have time for that
for this show.
Until they come out with a multiplayer DLC or modification for the thing.
Then we can team mow.
Oh, there you go.
But we can't, because they don't have that. I think it'd be funny.
Yeah.
We gift him the game and or the DLC, and then mark the date on the calendar, and then we have a constant ticker up in the corner. It's been X number of days since Howard was gifted the lawn mowing simulator.
Yeah,
or whatever.
That or just the last time you've seen him live on Steam. But I mean, it's
Howard.
I mean, it's not easy making time for sometimes the projects that you do, and fortunately, I had the spare time this past winter to sharpen my skills at virtual lawn mowing, and they don't have a dethatcher. They don't have. It would be interesting if they
added the trimmer. So you got that.
There's the trimmer, but
no extra lawn care options other than go here, mow this, and you're done.
I think
Find the lawn gnomes.
Them talking about developing
the blowers, right?
The blowers, but I mean, that's a very small part of.
Yeah,
that's just cleaning up the mess you made.
Yeah,
so.
That's like particle physics for the game. So
yeah,
I see that. Speaking of Steam and the game and seeing when he logs in, it seems that I sent a certain Howard Blues on the other end of this a friend request a good 6+ months ago. Howard doesn't want to be my friend.
Does that mean you can't get in the game?
Do you know the last time Howard was on Steam?
Apparently more than 6 months ago.
Yep.
There you go.
Howard doesn't have time to game. Although, saying that, I've been playing Ghost Recon Wildlands a lot lately in the evenings.
Hey, you didn't call us? That game's actually multiplayer.
Wildlands. Wow.
We would play that with you.
Man, we played
the shit out of that game.
Probably between 4 and 2 years ago. That was the game of choice.
Because we'd always
until they started turning it into some hybrid Call of Duty
alien opus.
Yeah, it kind of felt like they were trying to do gosh. It was something weird. And then what was the game that
they
was
got
the follow up to it?
Well, Wildlands 2 they came out with. That was a stupid
No, it wasn't Wildlands 2. It was something else. It was the most recent
are you talking about
we played the beta
Extraction game
No.
that they made off of?
I'd have to go look it up, but it was something that we tried the beta, and let me go take a peek because I gotta find out.
Sure, because you know that I had the like alpha test almost of the it's called Extraction, but it's a spin-off of Tom Clancy's.
They still want $50.
Rainbow Six Siege.
Yes, thanks, Howard. As I'm like partially looking at the screen of the different games here, but so yeah, Siege was the game, and they made Extraction directly off Siege. So you use the same characters, but this is about an alien invasion and extracting things from there to like save them and save the planet. And I played 2 missions, and it's not like a mission storyline. It's just a joke. But the Division, are you talking about? Maybe?
No, because the Division was more of a
like team
massive multiplayer game. It felt like.
Yep, it was a combination of online MMORPG and a
Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six Siege is still a very popular game, and I remember we had our ups very few ups and very many downs playing that on the Xbox, and was it someone who's just snapped the disc in half multiple times?
Yep. That's the funny thing.
Where is this?
His gamer tag for a while was Leroy Jenkins.
Oh man, I miss the good Leroy Jenkins meltdowns.
And he, because of the lag, because of the cheating, because of the way the game operated and their stupid programming, like garbage, he would go on an epic rant, and man, I love this guy. He's hilarious. But yeah, he ejected the disc out of his Xbox and snapped the son of a bitch and threw it in the garbage. He uninstalled the game and he was done with it. I'm never playing that game again. It's this stupid piece of shit game. And then 6 months later, he bought the digital download so that he didn't have to get a disc and break it. I will say I bought the ultimate, like the top tier edition for $10 or $15 or something. So I got the Ultimo edition, but not all of the extra downloadable content and the season passes, because they have all of these extra operators that you can purchase and be part of and have. Oh man, that's a good bug over there.
How is that game not on here? Is it not available on Steam?
You had Siege right at the top.
Oh, this is like a year 7 welcome pack edition. It wasn't Siege, but it was the game. It was supposed to be a sequel or after the fact of Wildlands, and I remember playing the beta, and it was not good
for me.
But the thing with
that was Wildlands 2, because it was nothing like the first game.
They didn't make a Wildlands 2 though.
They did.
It was a different name though. I'm trying to remember the name.
I remember playing the beta for Wildlands 2, and they stripped the game mechanics. The first one that made it so fun to play.
Let's see if I can find it.
And I really didn't like it. Hey, your special recording is done.
Nice.
Howard's gonna love getting that one.
There was a Wildlands 2, just for the record.
There was?
Yep.
There was.
I played the beta on it, and I hated that game. They changed the mechanics and the special features that your
Ghost Recon Breakpoint. That was the one. That was the one that was terrible.
And I think that was the Wildlands 2.
That was
because it was made off the Wildlands.
That was
game,
the sequel, but it was
the official title was the Breakpoint.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yep.
And I've heard mixed things about Extraction.
That game is a pile of steaming garbage.
Well,
don't waste your money on it.
They've gone down the path.
Don't even waste your time downloading it and wasting the space on your device. If you got it for free, don't waste the space.
Don't waste the bandwidth.
It's like so it has the problems of Siege with the lag, and there's the cheating and the lobbies that don't backfill your team if somebody drops out or gets disconnected. And then the quote unquote story, because it's multiplayer, but the story is stupid. You fight these aliens and they got the mystical powers and they shoot the black goo in your face, and you whatever. You got these other alien fighting weapons to try and counteract it, and you put the mine and whatever.
So it's like you're going into the 3rd or 4th edition of the Grand Theft Auto spin-off, or the so-called carbon copy. What was the
Saints Row?
Saints Row, yeah. Saints Row started out as a very good
1, 2, and 3. 3 was the start of the downfall.
But it went from doing essentially the same thing of holding down the streets and having gang wars and very similar things to what happened in Grand Theft Auto, but with a little more comical storyline to fighting aliens in space and
the 6-foot
and it's essentially morphed into Grand Theft Auto Online Saints Row Hybrid Edition, and it's, I don't know, maybe I'm just too loyal to the
Get off
games.
my lawn.
Yeah, right.
The best thing about it is, GTA 6. Everybody's like, where's GTA 6? Like, bring us GTA 6. Hey, we just released this new online thing so you can spend more money for nothing because we already developed that.
Our grandkids might be able to play it.
That bug was singed. Whew.
Yeah. Got the citronellas and
Way to get out the bug zapper, because down this far south, we're practically in the bayou.
It is
bugs everywhere.
It is a perfect evening. Calm winds.
It is great.
Low to mid 70s.
Looking at the official Triple B weather radar, weather center, 68 degrees.
Boom. So close to being nice.
Mm-hmm. It's almost nice. If you pay the right price, it could be nice.
So, Kidder, I was in at Abercrombie today. That's where I was.
Hey, you're trying to follow me.
No, not quite. But, I mean, they were having some real impressive flooding.
It's a bit moist.
Yeah.
Where's Fitch? Oh,
he's in the top of the tree. He's staying out of the water.
Yeah, so you can see there's another photo. So took a couple of photos while I was out there this morning. But yeah. Site's not anywhere near being in danger, so that's always good, but it was always interesting to see the flooding and such.
Has it been major storms that have produced the extra water, or just constant good soaking rains?
A lot of rainfall, but then also with the way the season warmed up pretty quick, and then froze, but then it came up again pretty quick. So there's still a lot of overland flooding.
The fall spring cycle.
Yeah, and then a lot of rainfall. So that certain areas down by Abercrombie, for instance, they've had around 15 inches of rain this spring. So there's all of that rainfall just overland that's contributing to the flooding.
Sure.
And then the water itself from the river already overflowing from the spring thaw.
Mm-hmm.
So it is pretty ridiculous from the south to north. Here we go. We got ourselves the next beverage. It's time for What's on Tap 3. Howard's like, I didn't sign up for this.
Howard's not doing a third round. Howard's has got to, be somewhat functional tomorrow.
You got to have the steady hand for the paint.
Get my steady hand. He I know it didn't record it, but I was
the barrels back in the day weren't perfect either, so don't worry.
He could have a third round, and it's just a water, because this is essentially a water. Look, I mean, it's super clear, right?
Sure. Super clear. Forever clear.
Yeah. Howard's like, what are you talking about? Well, this What's on Tap is brought to you by Brother Nico. Thanks, Brother Nico. Let's turn it off to the side. This one, as we bring it up to the camera, yes, that is the Pabst Brew Ribbon. If I can get it into focus. Is it going to focus? It's trying to think about it, but Rudeboy's in a better focus. There's a little light. Nah, no. Oh my gosh. It's like your camera and my camera are related. All right. A good enough blurry photo there. This is the Pabst Blue Ribbon whiskey, the finest Blue Ribbon standard.
What is a Blue Ribbon standard?
The fake wax seal on the side of it.
Okay.
The interesting thing, of course, look, it is clear, so you can clearly see it. Here's the best thing. It's been aged 5 seconds. Literally says that on the top corner. Aged 5 seconds. It's a mash bill. So it has 52% corn.
I've aged more than 5 seconds since you started talking about
I
this.
know. So it's a good thing that's still in the jug here. 27% malted barley, 17% wheat, only 4% rye. So
So
we'll
they
see.
pour it in one edge of the barrel and it just falls out the other, and that calls it aged.
Passes it through, yeah. Must be. It's a 40% alcohol per volume. This is an 80 proof beverage. Established in Milwaukee, 1844 the year. This Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Before now.
I know. What are we going to do? We've had 2 drinks from Established now. Made from the nature's choicest, it says right there, products that legend would have it.
Legend.
Thought the cops were showing up for a second. You had lights in their backyard and everything here. Jacob Best, used in 1844 to provide its smooth, complex flavor. And we have 750 milliliters here. Again, this one courtesy of Rudeboy Nico. Although you're the rudest rude boy around, so there is that. This was
who's where.
Who's where, who's what. Why is on third? Distilled and bottled, Pabst Brewing Company, Holland, Michigan, and then it gives a phone number. What, you hear the sirens too and the doors closing like they're going to come into the backyard and shut us down? John Taffer, you didn't have to call the police.
Shut it down.
We would have invited you back here to have a beverage too. Maybe that's what happens when you open a PBR. I don't know.
Well, at least we have the PBR glass to enjoy it in.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what's on here, but it's the basically the same as what's down here. So again, there you go. The blurred out face and everything. The PBR whiskey. A better look at the PBR can glass. This thing's vintage enough.
I got that from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh,
it was it probably 9-ish years ago, and they had a deal where they would give you a PBR filled to that brim for $2. And I was like, this is a unique glass. And I'm like, am I able to bring this home at all? And she's like, let me talk to the manager. And so she comes back about 5 minutes later and she's like, how's everything? And I follow up and I ask her, I'm like, is there any chance of me bringing that glass home? And she's like, it's all yours. We got plenty of them. So
there you go.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I'm not a huge fan of PBR myself, but I was like, it's
like a can in itself here with the
can in glass. You could probably fit a can in the glass.
It kind of looks like that, yeah. Right. Ching, ching, ching. But cheers to you. Cheers to Brother Nico and to, of course, Howie Blues. Cheers to you and your barrels.
Doing some washing right now. In case you're wondering.
His barrels are aged more than ours are.
Has a unique taste to it, that's for sure. I don't know if it was washed through the beer first and then got an earthy taste to it.
Got something to it. I don't know.
Howie Blues, you would I don't know what you would think about this one to be completely honest with you. I don't know what you would in the tasting notes. I don't even know what to do with that.
When they say they talked about corn as the ingredient towards making the beer. Like
60 or 52% corn in the mash. Our bartender for the evening just gave us the sour face after tasting it.
Whiskey and salt water.
That's a good description. Whiskey and salt water.
Or Epsom salt. That's the earthy taste. It's like
it's almost like I should have taken another sip a few seconds ago, but the more I let the taste linger, just
maybe gargle.
Did you have to let it linger? Did you have to?
I don't know if it would mix well with anything, because the taste is
Might mix well with the grass. It's bizarre. I wish Brother Nico was here. It's not that bad. I'm just...
well, he's a man of the corn anyways, so it's... I mean, it's something that...
It's peaty. He likes the peaty, like the bourbons and things.
We can't even compete this
What?
or compare this to any
high quality
peat Scotch,
Pete
Pete and Pete.
Pete and Pete.
But I mean, it's even if you were to close your eyes and ask yourself, what drink is this? I would not call it whiskey. It's almost
Fermented leftovers.
it's
Even Tito's is better than this.
well Tito's is smooth. And this is it's almost like I wonder if it would taste any better if you drank it at room temperature. And we have it on ice, just thinking that whiskey on the rocks would be tasty.
Kind of kills it.
So
Everything.
it
Maybe I shouldn't give it to the grass because it might kill a section of your yard.
could be a
I don't want to do that.
healthy alternative to Roundup, but
Where do you have some weeds? Let's see if this works.
I can find you a few.
What?
There's another.
Where do you? No, I
This is
really don't.
We'll save this for the super giga omega taste number 4 to get this taste out of our mouth. Yeah,
I mean, I would think the water would help make it a little bit, I don't know, palatable.
Yeah, maybe if you watered it down a little bit.
It's just a sample.
Whiskey and water.
And it tries to open up the sensory of it, like with a couple dashes of water. No, so you just ruined it.
Oh, I mean, it's something that maybe it's something that is better at room temperature. It's almost like if you took a dried piece of corn straight out of the field, ground it up. Maybe I'm more of a fan of the rye.
I mean, it's stronger. It's not watered down, but at the same time, it still has that nasty aftertaste. There, it just gives you more alcohol for it, so it kills the. I'm getting more citronella than.
That's way worse. Yeah, well, like I opened the bottle last night just to take a smell of it. I didn't even taste it, and it was it was suspect at that time.
Yeah,
like it. I don't know if it needs some companion to mix with, or if you find some recipe online to see if you want to enhance your PBR with a PBR. Maybe it's not aged long enough. I mean, 5 seconds. If straight
the segment
whiskey
has gone on longer than this whole barrel or bottle has been barreled and distilled.
There isn't much that that I can pour into a glass with an ice cube that I can say I do not want this again, but this is
It's
almost
up there.
at that point.
I'm kind of feeling the same. Even the PBR glass here is feeling a little
It's starting to melt.
over the top. It's like, nope, I've had enough of this.
Put
Please.
beer in me, please. I need kind of beer,
Empty
please.
me, please. But so I guess if I would have to do a 1 to 5 on that, I'd give it a 0.5 because it has some alcohol content.
Yeah, I think you have to be a big fan of a very original corn taste to like this.
Rubbing alcohol and cheap. Well, there's no such thing as cheap gasoline now, but I mean, if you had to go with like the gas smell on your hands and rubbing alcohol, that's probably about where we're at.
You might be able to make some Molotovs or start a fire with it.
Hey, there was a fire back there. It's still smoldering. We could go try and reignite it. It was left for the universe to take care of.
Yeah, it's worth a try because you're naturally curious with something being. I'm not very familiar with a clear or lightly aged whiskey myself. But, yeah. What were your thoughts on the dew earlier?
Well, so Howard, unfortunately, we did a What's on Tap before the show a couple hours, and it wasn't a sacrificial. It was.
Can be.
Yeah,
I would give it more stars than that PBR whiskey.
Well, I mean, this would almost be sacrificial. Like you need to get your blood alcohol content to a minimum of 0.0003, and then you could have a few sips of this and then hate your life. But we did the happened to find at the store the Mountain Dew Hard, and it has the regular, the Baja Blast, and the the other one?
There's a watermelon and black cherry.
Watermelon black cherry. Okay, so there's 4 flavors. We did the straight up regular Mountain Dew Hard and poured it into a glass such as this. I guess we had the ice with it too.
Yeah, it was still chilling at the time. So
but what I would explain it to be or describe it as would be a flat Mountain Dew. Kind of like
with the malt flavor,
right? A little bit of that the malt beverage flavor that you would expect from any of the malt beverages. So,
want to try a different flavor?
Or
save it for another time.
Might have to save it for next week. I mean,
a palate cleanser or something.
My lord, if I try and drink something else alcoholic,
something non-alcoholic. It can be water. It can be a Coke or
Kogan or smoke. With you get something else combined with this, and I might end up sailing to the moon. But the best way to describe the hard Mountain Dew is if you had a 20-ounce bottle and you let it go mostly flat and then drank it, and it had alcohol content. The taste of Mountain Dew was there, and it wasn't overly terrible, but I agree with your sentiment of it would be better to get a can of regular non-alcoholic Mountain Dew or any of the Mountain Dew flavors that you would like, whether it's the Baja Blast or we brought a case of the Frostbite, which is not too bad.
Yeah, I like the Frostbite.
And then I don't even want to say add this.
No. Don't just leave that.
just
Leave that there. If you added some clear
like vodka.
rum or vodka, it would pair a lot better than just throwing 5% malt alcohol into it and calling, because the thing is that it says there's 0 added sugar, so it's, if you're not a fan of diet sodas to begin with, you're starting out with because basically the sugar and the alcohol is what adds the sugar to the drink. So no added sugar to a diet dew, and then you add just the malt flavor. It's okay. I mean, I told Mark earlier, it's something that it's almost kind of like a appetizer of a drink. Like you can
sacrificial, as Howard would say.
I would say it's good if you were to split the can amongst 2 people and say, all right, it's a hot afternoon.
The teaser.
It's a teaser. It gets your taste buds going. But I would say that just at least the original dew flavor. The other flavors I liked when I tried it before. It was a little more enjoyable just because it was different from the original dew taste. But I think like what I said in the previous episode, it's something that you just make your own mix instead of trying to make a malt
buy the overpriced version
mix of the it's,
even though it's the legitimate Mountain Dew flavor, just make your own.
You never know until you try. So
and it's good content for this show.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would say is almost having that mix from the can, right? You put it in the glass and then add soda water. So then there's some bubbly nature to it.
It's also
maybe
something that you might be able to take the hard dew and add something to it, whether it be
quality,
something not PBR whiskey, but something that might pair well with citrusy Mountain Dew flavor to try and bump that
flavor
that
profile. I really don't even want to throw this out onto your lawn because I don't know what it'll do to your grass. Like, I'm that concerned about it. Normally I'd be like, whatever, we can give a little free moisture to a patch of the lawn. But I feel that if we toss this bit out into the great beyond, that tomorrow we would wake up with a foot by foot square of dead patch.
Yeah.
So
it'd be interesting to see if it actually catches on fire if he took a match to it. Maybe that'll be a science experiment for the next episode.
We could just leave this on and then go over to the unattended flame over there and just give it the old NASCAR and see if it ignites or something. How does that sound to you, Howard?
Nah.
Too much editing.
Yep.
The man's hard at paint.
He's hard at paint. Hard.
I just finished washing everything, so now it's the sit and wait. So all my stuff is drying, and
maybe we can age the PBR in that barrel.
Yeah,
it's about as much as I want to drink of it.
Had some apples turn out pretty well. So
you better be careful of showing off that apple cart and fruit stand, because there's going to be a police chase rolling through there any minute.
Yeah,
like the classic video or movie scene of a police chase, and it ends up going through some kind of a fruit cart.
Yeah. No, once the wash dries, it's just putting the varnish on, and these pieces are done. So
I was really hoping when I said that there'd be some kind of siren of a responding emergency vehicle somewhere going, but alas, the universe did not help us out in this instant.
Must be a quiet night.
Easy with the Q word. It's gonna get stupid real quick.
and on the promise of that, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while. It's probably time we wrap this up with some cheap plugs.
It's interesting. We didn't even get to talk about sushi.
No, we didn't.
The sushi assortment tonight at Sakari was phenomenal.
That was.
We got to throw out the Sakari name, and if you happen to be rolling through the Iowa way, you need to help yourself to a Sakari, and if it happens to be
the top shelf sushi platter,
it was amazing. It had the following. Oh, you want me to read it? It had the dynamite crab roll, the shrimp tempura roll, the beef roll up, the firecracker, chili chicken, the Bruce Lee, crab rangoon, Godzilla, the Incredible Hulk, and Loa Surf and Turf. There were 80 pieces, and it claims to serve 10 to 12. And the four of us demolished that. Oh my God, it was so good.
it was just right.
I even got some pieces of sushi on the side of the salmon sushi and the tuna sushi, just of having the base profile. Oh, so good. And then we had, you and I both had two of the, not the Kirin, but
yeah, we had Kirin.
were they the Kirin beers?
Kirin beers and
Ikiri Kirin, right? Is that what they are? Something like the Kirin Japanese beers.
Mm-hmm.
We had two of those on the draft this evening. And those were very, very tasty as well. So if you're rolling through the Des Moines, Iowa's ways, make sure you stop by Sakari. And no, they didn't sponsor us. What we did miss on the sponsorships is the drinking partner.
Yeah.
The old drinking buddy. So while Rudeboy Kyle goes and gets those, just going to tell you about a few things. Of course, our website, beerbluesbs.com. That's our home in cyberspace where you can find our episodes, you can find our merch store, and you can find all of everything else Beer, Blues, and BS, like buying us a beer or perhaps a round of regular beverages. And then on top of that, our Facebook page, our social medias. They're all available at beerbluesbs.com. Please visit there as we take a quick pause to recognize our sponsor of this episode, the old drinking partner.
Here is the drinking partner.
Look at this guy. Just put her anyway. So So this awesome device, for full disclosure, Rudeboy Kyle's family members have quite the brain on them, because you're sitting out there on the lawn enjoying a cold beverage and you're like, I don't want to hold on to this thing because it's going to get warm. Where do I put it? Well, how about I put it into a cup that sits next to me? Yeah, it's this awesome invention right here. It has a nice stand on it, which you see here in multiple colors.
The stand is extruded aluminum. Itself is probably about 3/4 of an inch diameter. On the inside of the stand itself, has 3 ridges going along each of this, so it'd be almost impossible to bend this with human hands. The top itself is strong, tough PVC plastic, and it's secured to the post with a strong anodized aluminum screw, in the bottom. So
Gets-
another option
gets
is
screwed.
to put it on almost any surface anywhere inside the house. You can use a flat wooden base that's sanded, painted white, or left at natural finish for your choice. Another option is it also comes with a stake, stainless steel that goes into your lawn or any soft surface. You can use it at the beach. So
They are awesome.
yeah,
They're great, especially if you have a lawn chair or whatnot, and you don't want to use the flimsy cup holder that's in your temporary chair. Those will actually hold your beverage and not let it spill because they're there and ready to go. And again, the old drinking partner right here, and the website happens to be drinkingpartner.com.
Yeah.
Look at that. It even fits this big old glass straight up into the drinking partner.
so yeah.
And we've been using these the past however many years I've been coming down to your place
Mhm.
here, the
They're
the
great
Casa
for,
de Kyle,
great for tailgates, great for backyard games,
even indoor.
indoors.
Using it last night watching the Avalanche game
Yeah.
as they pounded the Oilers 4-0.
Woo.
Love it. So drinkingpartner.com. Is there a special code to use on the website for our Beer Blues and BS viewers or listeners?
No special code, but if you guys get a hold of us through the Beers Blues BS website, if you want any special color that's on the website, we'll be able to arrange something for you in terms of a deal, in terms of multiple drinking partners, or if you want the base plus the drinking partner itself, we'd probably get you a little discount off the website price. So yeah.
And for those people looking or listening to us right now, what sort of monetary value are we looking at for one of them their tasty units to help us enjoy the Outback?
I think if you were to say including the base and the drinking partner, we'd probably go about $20 plus shipping. So it's something that it's a family-owned business, and we have limited stock of different colors. But if you shoot us a message, we'd be able to pass it along to the people that know what colors are available the most, and go from there. Be able to set you up. So not as easy as point click online order, but we'd be able to point you in the right direction and know that you're supporting the show and also a family business. So thank you.
Love it. So again, beerbluesbs.com, and shoot us a message at our Facebook page, beerbluesbs.com, for the Facebook link, or search on Facebook for Beer Blues and BS. Ask about the drinking partner, or just visit their website, drinkingpartner.com. Search it on the old interwebs and find the awesome device that you just saw on our camera. So listen to us everywhere and anywhere, because we are all over the place, from the Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, IMDb, Tuner FM, Stitcher. We're all over the place. Just on your favorite audio or video service, search Beer Blues and BS, because, well, we're probably on there. If you would, click either the thumbs up, the subscribe, and be part of the show that way. But then if you would kindly do so, click the share button and share it with your friends, because sharing is caring.
That's right.
Making it happen for all of your friends, because they're probably not only awesome people, but also want to hear on what's happening on this show and be part of the show as well. So from the on location Casa de Kyle, this beautiful view here, the big old tree and the lights and everything, the sounds of Des Moines, the sirens and the douchey motorcycles. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. Rudeboy Kyle, thanks for hosting the show.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks for the drinking partner.
Mhm.
Thanks for getting us going with another episode and getting us all set up here and
Yeah,
ready to roll.
it was an
So
awesome show.
for Rude Boy Kyle, for Sterling over in the foreground, and for my brother on the other side of this mother thing, he's Howard Blues. I am the man, the myth, legend, Mark Kidder. Thanks for joining all of us here on this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. Remember that there is free beer tomorrow. Always keep your glass at least half full, unless it's, I guess, this PBR whiskey. And we'll catch you on down the old dusty Tuscan Highway. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you on the next edition of Beer, Blues, and BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
You get the old-fashioned up first there, Howie Blues?
I was going to go with the classic first, but
Oh, my God. We're already off the rails. We haven't even
We'll do it live.
do it live.
there's going to be a lot of beeping in this episode.
Basically, anytime this shot is up, just put a bleep over it. Nobody needs to hear what we're saying. So this one,
I told you I got the classic. That's what I got.
So do you want us to change it out?
Oh no, this is
So
the
we
old.
can't-
This is the old-fashioned.
Not the classic.
Oh my
Well,
God!
I thought you told us to do these first.
I thought it was the old-fashioned. Now we're off the rails. We haven't even started.
Regular.
Rude Boy's up. He's got it. He's on both feet. He's going.
We haven't said action. We haven't done the charismatic.
Howard
kidder
hasn't
intro.
said his quips.
That's because you haven't let me speak in like 2 minutes.
Oh,
It's impossible to
sorry.
get a word.
Kyle's
in.
got a lot to say.
Me?
You got something to say?
That's something to say.
I'm just waiting to see if it comes around to you explaining who the Acclaimed and the Ass Boys are for a third time, because you've already done it twice.
No, No, that's all you need is 2 times.
Who are the Scissor Boys? Let's dive deeper into that.